Today,
If you can help it.
we make our stand. I am ready for the Horde. Oh look, we're in the cutscene. And the gates of Orgrimmar are under siege again. With 2 cinematics back to back, wow. And Anduin's got his baby face back. It's quite weird that Anduin has different faces for all these different cinematics. He's really baby facing these live action ones, and then he's much more rugged, a lot more like his dad in the other cinematics with the in-game character models. And Varrock looks a lot older here.
Those who defend Orgrimmar are Horde as well.
Yep, they are.
Our brothers and sisters.
These warriors have sworn to fight. For you. Many lives will be lost.
Or perhaps just one.
Sci-fi.
Sylvanas Windrunner! I challenge Makora!
Oh. The old soldier. Is he trying to die again?
A traitor leading traitors. Why should I accept your challenge?
You want to make me suffer.
Ouch. Oh, she almost smiled. Oh, she's going to accept because she really does want to make him suffer. Oh, he knows her well, doesn't he? He knows how to push her buttons.
You cannot win.
My old friend. You and I.
We don't get to hide.
They're both looking old, aren't they? Thrall looks quite old, and Safan's supposed to be a lot older than him.
Set you on this path.
Safan really is an old guy now.
Where it could lead. Walk with me. The rest of the way.
Ooh, Charlemagne in the hands of the Nork. Ooh. So Thrall's blade and Varian's blade is going to fight as I can. Yeah, Safan's kind of like a dad figure to his Zakan, isn't he?
Let it be finished.
And Zakan reminds him of his son that died at the Wrathgate. Oh wow, that was over fast.
The High Overlord falls.
How does that help us?
I trusted you. And so did they. And death comes, old soldier. And all their hope dies with you.
You cannot kill hope.
Yeah, she's been trying to kill Hope since Teldrassil.
At Teldrassil, you failed. Hope remains. You set us to kill each other at Lordaeron. You failed. Here we stand. You just keep failing. The Horde will endure. The Horde is strong.
The Horde is nothing!
That's a kind of a... Did she really just say that? We're nothing. The Horde is nothing? What do you mean the Horde is nothing? We fight for the Horde.
All nothing!
Ooh. She used to really care for the Forsaken. What has happened to her?
For Azure!
He splits Charlemagne into two swords and fights, and then he gets blasted by magic. That's very reminiscent of how Varian died. It looks to me like they're kind of hinting at Varian's death with that.
Standing as one.
Wow, that's evilly nasty. No, I like Sylvanas. She can't be that evilly nasty. I don't like that. No, they've killed Saurfang. They killed Varian, they've killed Saurfang, and now they've made Sylvanas into a nasty evil. That's my three favourite people all gone. No. Yes, Kat, that's how I feel.
What do we do now?
Oh, that's sad. I want to cry. I want to cry for Saurfang, and I want to cry for what's happened to Sylvanas. Her fear of death has eaten her away, and Saurfang's... Oh... He got his honourable death, I suppose. So, are you letting us in? Yep. Wow. So no war today. Oh, I've lost Saurfang. Got to be honest, I was really hoping that Saurfang would be the next war chief, and I know he's really old, so he couldn't fight or anything, but... Whoa, the really old guy challenges her, and... Wow. I'm not sure what to think of that, actually, because... Like Thrall said, there's no way that Saurfang could beat her, and if she'd have just killed him like it looked she would do at the beginning, I mean, it's like a really old guy trying to fight a young, fit person, because she's undead. I mean, you wouldn't expect an 80-year-old soldier to beat a 30-year-old soldier, would you? So, I mean... But what would have happened if she'd have just killed him? I mean, it's the fact that she went off all snarky and stupid and said stupid things that means there's no war. If he'd have just been killed, we'd have been left without a leader, wouldn't we? And then what? That really doesn't make any sense, that to me, as a plan. Or a plot. It's a powerful story, but it would make no sense if you were really a warring faction coming to fight at the front, because if she'd have just killed him and kept her big mouth shut, then we'd have had to suddenly quickly get a new leader while we stood right outside the city to try and siege her. So that's weird to me. I think that's really, really weird. Right, let's finish off the quest line. Before the gates of Orgrimmar, Saurfang, slain by dark magic. I have known Sylvanas for years, yet I have never seen her wield such power. Why reveal it to us now? What does she gain by abandoning the Horde? Lorthamar's eye narrows. Whatever she has planned, it would seem that she no longer requires the Horde to achieve it. We will need to be cautious, Enhedwana. There is no telling what her next move will be. Yeah, I don't know what her plan is, and I'm not quite sure where Blizzard's going with this story, because it kind of doesn't fit well together to me. But then let's be honest, some of the storytelling hasn't been the greatest, even in the past. Some of the stories have been a bit weird. But they've got new storytelling people like Christy Golden working for them now, and so that you would have hoped the story would have got better. But this kind of doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Maybe we'll get something else to tell us why this has happened. The price of victory. Saurfang, Lorthamar takes a moment to compose himself. Thrall will wish to honour Saurfang's sacrifice, and so shall the rest of us. Recall our forces, let them know what has transpired. Tell them that the great warrior Varrock Saurfang is dead, and that the war chief has abandoned us. Speak to Bane when you arrive in Thunder Bluff. You will find him on the Elder Rise. I am certain he will want to pay his respects to Saurfang as well. Let us stand as a united horde once more. Inform Bane Bloodhoof of what has transpired. Oh, so we need to go...
Regent Lord, what manner of magic did Sylvanas use against Saurfang?
I had hoped either you or Thalithra would have the answer to that question. I have never seen her wield such power.
It was unlike any magic I have ever encountered. I could sense none of it, even in her presence.
Then she must have only recently acquired it, or simply waited until now to reveal it.
Either way, it does not bode well for us. Whatever she is planning, she no longer needs the Horde to achieve it.
So none of the three great magic users know what magic Sylvanas used to kill Saurfang, and none of them have a clue as to what is going on and what's happening. No, so this is really strange, isn't it? So there's the map for where we are. Oh, that's the really low level quest is still showing up on there. Must have never done that because I'm a blood elf. Didn't do the low level quests around here, did we? Right, so we're going to Thunderbluff. Yeah, we've got to go to Thunderbluff to speak to Bane. You told me to recall our force. Oh, well, we're going to recall Malar because we sent her to Thunderbluff, didn't we? Bane's still sick from when we rescued him from being Sylvanas' prisoner, so we need to get him out. That's quite a long flight for us to go on, isn't it, actually? Yes, in the comments below let me know what you think of the storyline that we've got here. I mean, the cinematic was really beautiful, but the story just makes not a lot of sense to me because Saurfang knows he can't win against Sylvanas, but he goes into the battle anyway. But if Sylvanas had just killed him straight out and kept her mouth shut, then she would have won. She would then have still had command of all the forces inside Orgrimmar, and we as the rebellion would not have had a leader, so that would have made her in an even stronger position. But instead she opens her mouth and says some crazy stuff, shouts and screams at everybody like she's actually gone crazy. It sounded like she'd actually flipped and gone crazy, because what kind of strategic long planning mind would just flip out and go crazy like that? Mind you, she kind of flipped out and went crazy when we were with the burning of Teldrassil, didn't she? That wasn't supposed to be the plan, and then she just screamed at everybody then. So it's almost like she's got a split personality, and most of the time she's planning and clever and a good war chief, and then other times she just kind of goes crazy and flips out. It's a very strange way to depict her. Kind of an inconsistent depiction. Not sure what to think of it, to be honest. Right, so I think Bane's in this big building here on Elder Rise.
While
Yeah.
others fight on the front line.
You have done more than your part, Bane. Focus on your recovery.
Champion, has the battle been won?
So Mela, so she's the one we're going to be recalling.
All of High Mountain stands with you, champion.
She was here
May I
helping
aid
Bane.
you?
It is good to see you, Enheduanna, but if you are here, then the battle must already be over. Hi, Chieftain. Saurfang challenged Sylvanas to mock Garar, and then...
Stand strong. Stay true. He risked his life to save mine, and gave his life to save the Horde. Go, champion. We will meet you in Orgrimmar to honor the memory of Varrock Saurfang.
Return to Lothamar before the gates of Orgrimmar. So back we go. So we've recalled the troops because Mael is there, and we've informed Bane, so all of our leaders now know. And G was with him as well, so he's the leader of the pandas, kind of. So that's everybody except for the... I haven't seen the Magor Orcs. Are they still fighting with Sylvanas? I'm not sure. Maybe the Magor are still part of Sylvanas' troops. Okay, so let's go back and talk to Lothamar. So that's the fighting over then, isn't it? Wow, that was over fast. I was expecting a much more protracted fighting campaign thing to go on. I kind of wondered if we'd have like another battlefront outside of Orgrimmar or something, or maybe daily quests or something for a few weeks or something to like bolster the army and get supplies and stuff like that before the assault, and then have an assault in a few weeks and have more quests and stuff to go with that, and maybe a scenario or something. And instead, Saurfang challenges Motgoror, and everything Sylvanas runs off, and it's over. So that really wasn't what I was expecting for the climax of the campaign. That really can't be all of it, can it? It can't be. That's under an hour, definitely, isn't it? No, there's got to be more. Anyway, let's go back to see what Lothamar's wants us to do now. Actually, I don't really see how there can be any more. Because they let us into the city, so there is no more fighting, there's no more planning, no fighting, nothing left. Oh. That was very, very quick. Lothamar, what we're going to do now?
We have made many sacrifices.
Saurfang's death will not be in vain. Well, it seems like he's stopped the war dead. Old soldier, so we're going back to the reference to the former cinematic where Saurfang tried to die before, and then Zukan persuaded him by reminding him of his son that there is still hope within the Horde. No matter what anyone says, he was an honourable orc, a legend in his own right, the ideal to which all warriors of the Horde aspired. He gave his life to heal the rift in the Horde and gave us the chance to forge a new path forward. His was more than a death befitting a warrior, it was the death of a hero, which was what he always wanted. He wanted to die in death. He didn't want to die an old man in his safe bed. We shall honour his sacrifice. Honour High Overlord Saurfang. The following will be cast on you. Battlefield Commendation grants the title Veteran of the Fourth War. So the war is over.
I greet you on behalf of Silverlook.
Thrall awaits us within Orgrimmar. We will take this moment to honour Saurfang before we regroup. N'Zoth is now our primary concern. Should we survive the old god's machinations, we will then turn our attention to those of Sylvanas. Lead on. Funeral. Oh gosh.
Varrock Saurfang, son of Koruk, supreme commander of the might of Kalimdor, High Overlord of the Horde. He led the charge against the Lich King. He defended our world from the Legion. Saurfang inspired all of us to strive for true honor, and his legacy will live on in our deeds.
Ooh, rest peacefully,
When the
Saurfang.
Alliance and Horde marched on Ahn'Qiraj, it was Saurfang who valiantly commanded our combined forces.
Which shows how old he is.
Today, his courage saved thousands of lives on both sides of the battle. His sacrifice will never be forgotten.
You have earned your warrior's death, old friend. Now, greet your son with honor and glory.
I can't blame the horn for him. Oh, that's sad. I didn't expect Saurfang to die, actually, after them saving him earlier. So they saved him from death earlier in the expansion a few times to let him die at the end. Oh, that's sad.
Loktar.
He will be buried in the ground as he would have wanted. I do not know what lies ahead for the Horde, but I know we will face it together. Veteran of the Fourth War title. Okay, the Fourth War. You have earned the title Veteran of the Fourth War.
Much of honor in the Horde, of our path forward from this crossroads. I never thought we would have to walk it without him. It falls to us to decide what the Horde will become. Azeroth needs our strength now more than ever. Grieve for Saurfang, and make ready to defend the world he died for.
The Nightwell calls to me.
So Rissa, I knew Saurfang for only a brief time, but I respected him for his courage. It is not easy to challenge your leaders, even when you are in the right. He saved many lives today. If we survive against N'Zoth, we will all owe our future to his sacrifice.
We are only as strong as
I
our
am
wound.
Bane, son of Care.
Bane Bloodhoof. Saurfang, were it not for his courage, I would have died at the hands of Sylvanas. It is a debt I can never repay, except by honouring his memory and carrying his legacy forward. The Horde cannot remain divided. We must reflect on all that we have endured and choose our next course of action with strength and wisdom, united as one.
Honor those who came before us.
Zakan. Saurfang, I knew this could happen, that things could be playing out this way, but that don't make it any easier. He always been a hero to me, inspiring me to be better, to be stronger, just like my father. The spirits guide 'em both. I wonder if they be watching me right now, waiting to see who I become. It be time I made 'em proud, Enhidorna. Never gonna rest till I do.
Honor the spirits of the past.
You are welcome here, champion.
Mela High Mountain. My people are new to the Horde, and there have been times in this war when I wondered if joining it was a mistake. But then I would think of Saurfang, of what he represented, of the Horde he fought for. That is the Horde my people joined. That is the Horde we must strive to be. I can think of no better way to honour his memory than by continuing that journey.
Together, we are High Mountain.
Bromkar.
Thrall. Years ago I spoke at Orgrim's funeral after he died while liberating our people. Today I did the same for Saurfang. We don't get to hide. That was the last lesson he ever taught me. But I have been away from Orgrimmar for a long time, and much has changed since I last walked upon its walls. I don't know how best to serve the Horde, but I will fight for it until the bitter end.
Let honor guide your path.
Hey, you looking for work?
Gazlo. I hate funerals, don't get me wrong. I respected Saurfang as much as the next guy. I just don't like standing around when there's work to be done. We goblins know how to pay our respects. We just don't overpay. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? I think old Saurfang would have agreed. I'm gonna miss him. But I ain't letting the job he started go unfinished.
Business is booming. We are here to win this.
Overlord Gaera. Sylvanas was a strong war chief, but she was not the Horde's war chief. Everything she did was for herself. Saurfang sacrificed everything he had for the Horde. Strength and honour. A true war chief must have both. That is a lesson I will never forget.
War is all we know.
Rohan. Never had a good feeling about this war, man. I've been following orders, trying to make the best of a bad situation, but I always thought that Sylvanas be having the Horde's best interests at heart. I was wrong. Should have trusted my instincts. Should have done more for Saurfang. Too late for that now. Lower guiders. Henidwana. We're gonna need it.
Come back if you need me help.
Lorthamar Theron.
Building continues.
A part of me will always wonder if this would have happened had I acted sooner. If I had confronted Sylvanas in the early days of the war. If Teldrassil hadn't burned. It is not an easy thing to watch a dear friend tread a dark path, to recognise when they have gone astray. I thought I knew her, and Saurfang has paid the price for my error in judgment. I have tasked the Farstriders with tracking down both Sylvanas and Nathanos, though I'm unsure we can find them at all. They were Farstriders themselves once, but I can't simply stand idle while they're out there. Not anymore.
Aldiel Shalar.
So I think that's everybody's reaction to the death. And there, of course, is Saurfang. So that is the end of the war campaign already, isn't it? Wow, that was fast. Right, there's a quest over here. Is this... Oh, that's Brewfest, isn't it? Yeah.
What do you need?
That's for Brewfest.
For
Now, I'm
the
told that there is a little hidden gem up here on the ramparts, that there are some loyalists being held prisoner up here. So let's have a quick look if we can see that, or if that's just a... Oh, we've got a load of wounded though. Oh, this is just the Undercity. I was told that if you go up on the ramparts, you can see some loyalists being guarded somewhere, and if you supported Saurfang, you just see them there under guard, and if you followed Sylvanas as a loyalist to Sylvanas and stuck with her the whole way through, not Saurfang, then apparently one of them whispers to you Sylvanas forever. But I can't see the guys up on that rampart, so if anybody knows where that is, can you put it in a comment below, because I would like to see that. But sadly, I didn't get to level a load of alts like I was hoping for this expansion, and I don't think I've got anybody that is a Sylvanas loyalist, so I can't show you the extra cinematic and that little snippet for a loyalist Sylvanas, because I haven't got one yet. If I manage to get one in the near future, I will record that for you. But for me, this looks like the end of the campaign, and I really expected the war campaign to go on a lot longer than that. I was expecting, like I said earlier, a load of quests and things to keep us going for a couple of weeks before the final battle actually occurred. So I'm quite surprised, quite shocked in fact, for it all to be over so quickly. But I do hope that you've enjoyed the episode. Please put some comments down below, let me know what you think of it for yourselves. And I will see you in the next video. From SoftKitty99, goodbye and happy gaming!